we're talking strategy. So this is, at this point, you haven't launched anything. Your inventory is not there, committed yet. Money is still liquid. So what is the best way to get a return on it? And we're talking, the strategy is everything. And one of my favorite sayings is, strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. But tactics without strategy is noise before defeat.
Can you walk me through the difference you see in strategy and tactics? Because I often hear things like that and I get confused.
Okay, so strategy, I'll give you an example. That's the best way. So strategy is, let's say you're creating a product and you say, okay, we're going to sell this to businesses. This is not a consumer product. It can be sold to consumers. Like I have a client, and they sell, they have a very simple but innovative product. You know what it is? It's rubber bands, except that they come with tags. So when you bundle things, you often, like, especially if you're bundling the same thing for different purposes, it's very hard to differentiate, what is what. And things like food, with different expiration dates, you want to be able to put, label on it. So these bands come with a label. So who is this for? Well, it could be for a home office, and you could price it fairly reasonably, blah, blah. But a strategy would be, we're not going to sell to individuals. We're going to sell to businesses. So therefore, we're going to make large packs. So targeting businesses would be strategy. So now tactics would be, do the best keyword optimization, do the best bidding on the PPC, best this, best the other, best images, the best video. Well, guess what? If it's all over the place, people are not going to know. And then in the process, those tactics without a clear defined strategy will become noise before defeat.
Okay. Yes, this makes perfect sense for me now. Okay, I get what you're saying. And yeah, and that's so key. If you start out with a bad strategy, let's say you go, I don't know, you're like, I'm going to go B2C, right? Or direct to consumer, but there's no market for it. You're dead in the water.
Exactly.
Like you said, if you have a good strategy, if you're going to the right person, but you're doing it poorly, that can kind of be corrected over time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is, right at the beginning, we are now, what I'm taking away from this is, study what's available and then create your differentiator, and then do not be the cheapest.
Yep.
Right. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. So let's say that we define exactly what it is, and then we're pretty good about how ours is different than everybody else. Our pricing is good, makes enough money, and offers value without being the cheapest. And now we are going to launch. So what comes next?
I think the key thing is reviews and initial sales momentum. So let's just go ahead and assume that, I think it goes without saying that you need to have sufficient amount of product available to not stock out. And of course, it's so hard to forecast. Everybody wants to do it. Anybody that says they can nail it down to the letter, I think, is full of shit. Like, it's just hard to know until you actually launch. But I would say generally overestimate. If you're very confident in your strategy, your value prop, like we just talked about, overestimate your inventory needs, and then go to market with a plan for initial sales momentum and reviews. And so reviews, a lot of people like to a lot of people are like, oh, Vine sucks. I've got a giveaway product and I'm going to pay for it. But the return on investment for Vine is incredible. And Amazon just reduced the price on it again, I think like a month ago. It's a tiered approach where it's like $25, $75, $200. But let's say that you pay $200 and you get, and you give away 30 products, which is the cap on Vine. And let's say only half of those people review, you get 15 reviews. That's still $200 plus, 30 free products for 15 reviews is an incredible ROI because the average review rate on Amazon, if you do nothing, is like 1.5%. Let's be generous and say it's 2% for your product or category. You would have to sell 100 products just to get 2 reviews. So it's like, how do you sell 100 products and get, or how do you get 15 reviews, right? You do the math on that. And it's like, well, I've got to sell, what is that? Like 700 products, 750 products to get 15 reviews. But it's like chicken and egg scenario. So for me, if you have a product that can be used by most people, there's demand for it, right? We've already found that like, hey, people who actually do probably want this. People, the Vine reviewers themselves will get your product and they will review it, and you'll have a higher review rate than 15 out of 30. You probably get like 20, 22 around there. So you get to start out with 20, 20 reviews. You paid $200 and you give away some free product. And now you've got a listing that people that will actually convert well because it has reviews. Now you can do all the other things that you need to do, which is like sending in external traffic, turning on your advertising campaigns, things like that to essentially bring traffic onto the listing now that it's ready to convert like crazy. And so that's why I always say, like, I mean, I don't want to run on the whole strategy forever, but I say, hey, start with overstock your product, plan 30 units for Vine, start with Vine, spend the $200, get those reviews in ASAP. That's one of the review strategies that I would start with.